So here's a question for you, Nathan. Do you want me to start with the Earth is a globe and I can figure out R?
No! What kind of a moron are you? Are you literally going to ask my permission to beg the question?
So, if you want to
acknowledge what I've just said to you, Muppet.
I think.
Am I allowed to start with it being a sphere? Am I literally allowed to beg the question here? No, Charles.
Okay, so we're not allowed to start with it being a sphere.
No, you're not allowed to beg the question, you bloody idiot.
No. Well, all I'm saying is it's a two-step process, and it all depends.
How many times have you got to say it's a two-step process, and how many times have I got to say I don't give a crap what you claim we can do going forward when we already have an acceptance of R?
All right, so if R is acceptance, then why do we have to prove it? That's the part, I guess.
Oh, right. We can just accept it and go forward because the priests say it's right.
No, he said if R is accepted, it isn't accepted,
right.
Charles.
We don't accept it, Charles. That's why we're asking you to prove
then
it.
Stop saying it's accepted. If you don't accept it,
no, we're not saying it's accepted.
Does
we're
that
not
make sense?
saying it's accepted. Why do you think that?
All right. I mean, so that's why I'm saying if you want to start, if you want to start from first principles with zero presuppositions, then I'm happy to take you down that path. Oops.
Fine.
Well, I'm not interested in that path. How many times have I got to say it? You already accept you are on a sphere.
No, hang on a sec, Nath. If he's happy to go down the path without a presupposition, let's see the path that he takes us down.
We've already been down it. He says we can go down a canal, look down a 6-mile stretch.
Well, yeah, that was the first thing I said because I think it was Arwen or something. So we weren't allowed to look at the sky. Not quite sure why that is. If you're not allowed to look at the sky, are you allowed to look at things on the horizon?
America. Yo.
Yesa.
Can you add Nummy to this call if he's not on already, Anthony?
I can. I think Yesa's in chat, isn't he?
Just tell him to... Oh, yeah, he tried to join the actual call. I'm just getting... Every time I look away for a second or two, the whole hangout gets muted. Charles doesn't get to hear what we're saying.
No, the sniper on deck
to this as well.
Seems to be very active.
Yeah. Every time I point out that you have a bag full of presupposition for the R value that is already accepted and has been for the last 2,000 years, we get a sniper.
But you reject that, right? But you reject that. So
yeah, let's
stop with, or I mean, let's stop saying that it's accepted. If you don't accept it, that's fine. I'm happy to throw it out the window. But what I'm trying to tell you, Nathan, is it's a two-step process. And what I can't figure out for the life of me is that you refuse to want to start at step one. You want to jump into step two.
What's step one? Assume
step one is figure out the shape of the Earth.
Assume the
without
sphere.
Any presuppositions.
So what you're saying is the two-step process is step one, beg the question.
No,
presuppose you're on a bloody sphere.
The question. There's no begging the question.
That's the definition. You've just said presuppose you're on a sphere is step one.
No, I did not say presuppose you're... No, Nathan, I said figure out the shape of the Earth is step one.
Oh, right.
Oh, my goodness. Figure out the shape of the Earth.
So how do we do that,
though?
How'd you do that?
Once you figured out the shape of the Earth...
How do you do that then, Charles?
Then you can figure out the size of the Earth.
How do you do that then? How do you figure out the shape? How do you figure it out?
What'd you say?
How do you do that?
How do you work it out? What is the shape?
If you performed the 15 observations on my channel, you would conclude nothing other than the correct shape of the Earth, which is a globe. Okay.
So in that case, then why is this observation of Ranty's wrong?
So sorry. The first step is to go through that 15-step process on your channel and conclude it's a globe,
stop
correct?
Anytime,
sorry,
you can stop any time. At some point, you're going to conclude the Earth's a globe.
So the step one, so step one is to go through the 15-step process on your channel and conclude it's a sphere, correct?
No, and figure out the shape of the Earth. I'm not telling you to conclude it's a sphere. I'm telling you that you will be able to figure it out on your own.
All right, let's figure out the shape of the Earth. Step one on his 15-step then. What's step one, Charles?
Well, I mean, my channel's got, I don't know how many experiments or
start with number one and tell us what we do.
How many explorations?
Just tell us. Right? What's step one?
What did you say?
What's step one in your 15-step process on your channel?
Well, observing the sun. Now, observing the size of the sun is not going to tell you that you're on a globe. It's going to tell you that the sun is really, really far away.
Why?
Okay.
Why does that have anything to do with proving we're on a globe? Step 1 doesn't prove we're on a globe.
Again, if you're interested in the truth, you're going to look for the truth. If you just want to reject an observation because you don't
listen
think
to what I've just said. Step 1 in your 15-step process does not conform with us being on a sphere. Shout out to Dank for the super chat. So step 1, useless. Doesn't prove we're on a sphere, Charles. What's step 2?
Step 1 isn't supposed to prove... Oh, my goodness. You mean
give me any of the 15 steps. Hold on, Charles. Give me any of the 15 steps that prove we're on a sphere. Any.
Well, but here's the thing. You got to put them together.
No, give me any... Well, step 1 hasn't proved we're on a sphere. Now I want to hear any of the other steps that do.
Okay, so Nathan, I don't know. Do you remember? Did you take experimental chemistry when you were in like high school?
Don't obfuscate my point. What's step 2?
It's an analogy.
In your 15-step process, what's step 2, Charles?
Can you give me 30 seconds for an analogy?
No, I want to hear what you've just told my audience. For the love of God, man. You've just told my audience that they can go to your channel and perform a 15-step process, and at the end of it, there'll be a conclusion that they're on a sphere. So, we've got to step 1, which includes looking at the sun and proves absolutely sod all. Now I'm asking you to go to step 2 in your 15-step process.
The sun is really far away. Okay, which doesn't prove.
Yeah, we've got to that crap bit of your evidence that doesn't prove we're on a globe. Now I want the next one.
So now we're on step 2, right? Step 2, which is, I don't know, observe the azimuth of the sunrise and the sunset.
Azimuth? Okay? That's begging the question, though, isn't it? You're going to beg the question straight away.
Yeah, the thing is, begging the question means that like you're making some sort of an assumption going in, or you're proving something.
Are you not making an assumption with the azimuth?
Listen to me, Charles. You complete retard. Right? An azimuth is an angular measurement in a spherical coordinate system, you complete idiot. So your second step in your 15-step process also begs the bloody question. You are quite literally the most stupid man I have ever encountered, Charles. Step 2 begs the question. Do you get it, you complete idiot?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, real quick. I think what Charles is trying to say is that.
Hold on, Issa. Do you get it, Charles? You complete idiot. Why are you laughing at me, you complete idiot?
I really don't. I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying.
Right, I'll say it for the audience again, because Charles is retarded. Second step, azimuth is an angular measurement in a spherical coordinate system. Yeah? It begs the question, you stupid idiot. Yeah? You're using azimuth and it begs the question.
Azimuths work fine on a...
Oh, you stupid man. Telling me now that it works fine on a flat earth. You are literally retarded, Charles.
So, Charles, you're arguing that there's some quantity of presuppositional arguments that somehow, you know, and with enough presuppositional arguments that it equals a proof?
That sounds like exactly what it is.
No, it's called the cosmological, it's called the Newtonian principle.
I do not use the word proof. I really try to...
Well, you're saying that we can know with certainty that the Earth is a globe if we do your 15 observations. So that's not proof? So we can't know that the Earth's a globe by doing your 15 observations. Is that what you're saying now? You're changing your story?
You don't have to do all 15. You stop whenever you figure it out.
I'll stop at number 2 because it begs the question. So far, you've had number 1 prove absolutely sod all. You're just looking at the sun. Then we move on to step 2, where you literally beg the question immediately. Right? So far, absolute garbage from your 15-step process. Absolute garbage, Charles.
How about the wagon wheel effect of the moon?
Here we go, wagon wheel effect of the moon. This is a waste of time.
You made an observation of the sun, yes?
Thanks for the super chat, Redfield Philosophy.
You hear me, Charles?
We hear you.
Very good. So, I think why you're causing a problem is because you began with the first step. You said make an observation. We understood that's science. And then you went on to something else. So what we're asking is, has this, or is this heliocentric model been proven with science? That's what we want to know.
Yes.
It's science, true science, yes?
Yes, but you don't have to accept the science. You could figure it out yourself.
Not science. It has
But
no
you're not
independent
using the
variable.
scientific method.
Doesn't
So how
follow
is
the
it
scientific
science?
method. Absolutely, unequivocally, definitely not science.
So